What a day. This is David Creighton broadcasting to you live from Ottawa. This is Stand on Guard. What a day. Farmers rallied across the country today, including in your nation's capital. I'm going to be reporting on what happened when we come back in mere moments.
The Prime Minister lied and his minions continue to lie.
Your home is your castle. We're calling on the government to introduce and immediately pass the Stand on Guard law.
But we also need to resolve to resist.
Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. No. We'll do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay, so I'm sitting here. I didn't know what time we'd get home today. And I was a little late for the rally because there is incredible congestion on the Queensway getting downtown. And I'm on the outskirts of Ottawa. So I wanted to be there, of course, for the start. How many people were there? Well, 150 to 200, maybe at the best of times, because people dropped off. And I would say at the peak period, from people who were there at the beginning, 150, 200 tops. At the end, maybe 100. But they were a lot of people, let's put it this way, who have a lot of influence in terms of what's going to happen next, in terms of the war on agriculture and what happened at Edgewood, BC, at Universal Ostrich Farms, and the courageous work of the family there, and the spokeswoman, Katie Pasitney, who I think inspired a lot. You wouldn't believe the people who came up to me and said, "We watched your broadcast on the ostrich farm for months." Because sometimes I know I did this, and I'm very proud of the fact that in the last 8 weeks, there was not a single day that went by where I did not at least have a segment in the show about the ostrich farm. We did special reports on the war against agriculture, what happened at Universal Ostrich Farms was all about the culmination of the war on agriculture. That's what it's going to be unless we fight back. The rallies today from coast to coast, especially they had a lot of rallies in British Columbia, in Vernon, in Kelowna, Vancouver. These were very important. Katie was at the rally in Vernon and Kelowna today. We'll have more about that tomorrow. My good friend Chris Dacey, I think, documented that. Had he been in Ottawa, he would have been here today. But Chris, you're welcome to use any video that I produced today if you're putting together a larger report as well. We've always shared our material, and frankly, we missed you here in Ottawa today. Johnny was there. Everybody was there who really, really mattered. And every second person came up to me and said, "We watch your show. We love what you're doing." So many people said, "We just love Katie. Can you introduce us?" And I said, I've never actually met Katie myself, but we're obviously in contact, but I will do that. And so many people were inspired by her courage, were inspired by what happened to that farm. There was a massacre of hundreds of ostriches there just over 2 weeks ago. This was a huge atrocity. Should never have happened. Should never have been in our consciousness. But as Katie likes to say, we have to take victory from defeat, and we have to move forward and help other farmers. And that's exactly what she's doing. So I want to show you some of the scenes. I'm going to do a more complete show tomorrow. I don't usually do shows in the evening unless I'm on somebody else's. But I just wanted to give you a feel tonight of what it was like to be there. And I don't like the cold. It wasn't that cold. It was a couple of degrees above 0 Celsius, but my hands were freezing because, you walk around with with a phone, and I can't do it with the gloves on. So my hands are cold. But my heart was so warmed by the people who came up to me and said, hi, we watch your show, we love your show, and we love what you did for this farm, because there were so many people that really were touched by the reporting. And I was proud to do that. I said it was a labor of love, because I really became to appreciate, respect, and admire, and really have great affection for this family and what they were doing. And it was such an honor to get to know Katie, and to talk to her mom, and to talk to all of those people on the farm who were doing very important work. And sometimes a lot of them were doing it for nothing. But a lot of the people that I talked to, I got to meet the sources, were integral to the reporting I was doing. And I want to thank, if they're listening tonight, any of them who are listening tonight, all of you who sent me videos, all of you who sent me intelligence, all of you who kept me informed and said, have a look at this website, have a look at this post on X, this post on Facebook, it might be helpful. To all the people who emailed me with information, thank you. Thank you for keeping me informed. And this story is not over. As we'll discover with one of the interviews here, it's just beginning in many ways. This is the beginning of the end of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and its tyrannical control over the lives and the farms and the livelihood and the livestock of Canadian farmers everywhere in Canada. It's the beginning of the end of this tyranny. And when farmers really get together, when they push back as a force, they are a force to be reckoned with. Just ask the Europeans what happened when farmers really got fed up and said, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. They fought back. And that's exactly what happened here. So I just want you to listen to some of the sights and sounds of this today. And of course, we're on our way to the market here, just down the block from Parliament Hill. The Shadow Laurier in the background there. And it's phenomenal. They did, as you saw in the intro there, they stood in front of CTV News, which was one of the worst violators of truth during the whole ostrich crisis, which is how I label it, the ostrich crisis and occupation. CTV News put out multiple pieces of fake news, scurrilous reporting, defamatory information about the owners of the farm, about Katie, about her mom. It was horrendous reporting, and it was just one notch below CBC, which gets the award for worst reporting on Universal Ostrich Farms, for if only for their constant use of Angela Rasmussen as a so-called expert, and she's not, and their actual hit piece that was supposed to be, how do you put it now? It was supposed to be an explanatory piece. And they put some British journalist, and I had to wonder, is this one of your temporary foreign workers? Come on the screen and tell you, there's nothing to worry about. This is about culling the ostriches. And this is all in keeping it just about keeping the birds avian flu free. And of course, we knew the birds were healthy all during this time, before, during, and after the occupation. They killed healthy ostriches. They killed the antibodies. They, I believe, ran off with the research. And they did all this in subservience to Big Farm. And we saw so many people today echo that. Yeah.
I actually came out here after watching what happened at the ostrich farm. I found it absolutely devastating, watching the overreach of our government. And I decided to come out here and show my support, and hopefully others younger, my age, will get their butts out here and do the same. Because we need to stand up for our freedoms, our rights, everything. I mean, it's more than just that. So
that's a great sign. That's one of the reasons Katie fought so hard, because she knew this was about not the health of her ostriches, but about big pharma.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't really know what else to say right now.
No, that's
I'm
great.
Camera shy, so
Don't be. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There were some young people there. A lot of them were, say, middle-aged. There were a lot of young people there, and who were there because they really got inspired by this story. But at the same time, I don't know how many people came up to me and said, we cried the night in the early morning that the ostriches were killed. We followed the story on social media. We followed your report the next day. And my report was based on the input from the people who were spending their night capturing this on social media, capturing this with their phones, being citizen journalists. Thank you for your good work. Thank you for being there. But people were absolutely devastated. They couldn't believe the government would go through with this massacre. And I have to tell you, as much as I thought the Supreme Court was not going to support this appeal, I knew all along that I didn't think the Supreme Court was going to go in the right direction because of the makeup of the Supreme Court. But in my heart of hearts, and Katie felt the same way, we didn't think the CFIA was going to go through with this, that they'd find an escape route. They'd find a reason not to go through with this. But you know, one person at the rally today, and I'm not going to say who it was because this is very controversial. At some point, this individual might want to publicly state these events, but this is an individual who knows what he's talking about. And he said, the people who are acting for the CFIA, who are killing, massacring literally millions of animals, chickens, millions of chickens, tens of millions of chickens. 12% actually. 12%, we found this out today, asking the question. 12% of the total population of chickens in Canada, 12% have been killed this year by the CFIA. Now, this individual said they're psychopathic. I have said I think some of these people are sadists. They enjoy killing. They enjoy lying, and they really enjoyed watching Katie kneel before that fence and beg and plead to stop, please stop killing my ostriches. There are some people who are so sick and so demented and so impoverished of soul that they enjoyed watching that. That's enough to make you want to puke. But that's why the CFI has to go, and these hired killers. And we still aren't sure who actually were the marksmen, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out who they were. Let's watch a bit more here.
Isn't that wild? Harassing people. Threatening
Hold it
her
now.
not to come.
Let's make sure I got this.
Because you said on your Facebook you were going.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Could you do that again? I think I hit the wrong button here. Sorry. This is worth it. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, old idiot here was not recording the first time. So I don't mind showing you that. I got egg in my face there. But people were literally coming up to me and showing me things they had recorded on their phone all afternoon. And this is one of the women, and she identifies herself. Courageous.
Debbie Cameron. I live in Cornwall, Ontario. I posted on Facebook that I was coming to the Parliament Hill on November 22nd for the farmers' protest. And I got a phone call on Wednesday, I guess that would be the 20th, and from an OPP liaison saying, wanted to know what my plans were, wanted to make sure I was safe. And I didn't answer the phone, I just let him leave a message. And then he texted me saying the same thing over, wanted to make sure I was safe and that I was organizing something. I'm not organizing anything. I was strictly coming to Ottawa with fellow Canadians. And then he texted me with this picture I don't know what it is. Men dressed with makeup on, carrying machetes in the forest, and I felt very intimidated by it, and I blocked them, not knowing what else to do. I just decided to block him.
I would block him too. Good for you. But what the hell is going on here? What kind of cops have we got now? Does this remind you of a video we showed you recently of this woman in the UK? I'm not exactly sure where in the UK, but it's 2:30 in the morning, and there's a constable at her doorstep telling her, "We understand you posted this particular piece earlier. We'd like you to take it down." And she says, "Why? Am I under arrest?" "No, we just want you to take it down because maybe you will be under arrest." Maybe we'll find the crime for you. This is the sort of BS that's going on now with the cops. We saw this out in Edgewood when Chris Dacey was accosted, followed, and stopped by a police car and told, "Stop doxing us." And Chris said, "I'm not doxing you. I'm not doing anything. I'm not telling people to go to the houses of CFIA inspectors and RCMP officers. I'm not harassing anybody. I'm reporting the news." Now, this woman just said she was going to the rally and she gets harassed by the cops for doing that. Then she gets this weird, whatever the hell that was. Do you want a cop like that asking you questions? Something seriously wrong here. Something seriously wrong. And this is why we need rallies like this to continue. And this station, Stand on Guard, Creighton's right, will continue to monitor what's happening to farmers, the war in agriculture, and how Katie is helping to fight back with her new association. And when that's off the ground, we're going to be talking about that as well. But this is a nationwide war on agriculture. And as Universal Ostrich Farms always said, it's not just about our farm, our ostriches, our livelihood, our lives. It's about the lives, the livestock, the livelihood, the private property of farmers everywhere. And if they can come for your ostriches, they'll come for your dog or cat next. Because they're culling all of these chickens on the basis of they might. You think they're testing tens of millions of chickens? No. They refuse to test 300 and some ostriches. They refuse to test the ostriches. Do you think they're testing tens of millions of chickens? No. They're refusing to do that because that's too hard. So you think they're going to come? If they come to your door and say, we think we're under suspicion that your dog or cat might have avian flu or something else that they come up with. Well, damn them if they ever try that here. Want to show you another interview here. Dr. Jeff Wilson, veterinarian, associate professor at the University of Guelph. He's got so many things on the go right now, but he's a severe critic of the stamping out policy because he says it's irrational. And the illogical conclusion of stamping out is that we're going to eradicate every living thing sooner or later, because it might be asymptomatic with avian flu. We're not sure. It might get avian flu again. Oh, really? What does that mean? If I might get the flu again, then I should be expendable? I should be culled because I might get the flu again. Give it to somebody. That is how insane this whole policy has become. And we have got to push back, and we got to fight back very vociferously about this because it is absolutely out of control. And here's Jeff Wilson talking about how out of control it is.
For Canada. And
about what happened here today?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's very important. I think
it can be discouraging to come to a protest and not many people are able to come. It's really important. It really helps. And can't give much of the details, but there are a whole bunch of things happening behind the scenes at a senior level, working with key politicians, industry people, all this kind of thing to fix this debacle that is the avian influenza and the ostrich debacle. Just so you know. So hang in there, don't despair, more to follow.
No, we're not going to despair. I want to just show you, I've got lots more to show you tomorrow. I just wanted to show a bit of Katie's last message from yesterday. And we're going to be showing you what she was up to today, but more about that tomorrow. Just want to show this to you. I can find it for you. Yes. Here we go.
Hi everyone, it's Katie with Universal Ostrich. It's been another long day. We have a statement from our farm and our family and just an update. It is with heavy hearts that we are sharing that one of our beloved supporters has passed away. Out of respect for her family, we will keep her identity private as they navigate this time of loss and try to find more family. This beautiful soul came to our farm after losing a child this summer. She was in so much grief and she was in so much pain. And when she told us that she didn't want to live anymore, until she found the purpose here among our ostriches and fighting for their life. She brought her son's clothes and a photo, and she laid them down on a table, and she offered that love to our supporters. She wanted to share her son's clothes and his story and his legacy. And through that act, she began to heal. She met new family. She met new friends. She found comfort in what we've all built together. A family that we care for one another, that laugh, we eat together, we grieve together. Sorry, I have to keep reading because I wrote out a thing, but it's really hard to remember everything. She stood with us because she saw in the ostriches something sacred like we do. Innocence, resilience, and hope. The fight for the ostriches has become a fight for humanity itself, a reminder that even through unbearable pain, we can still rise for something greater than ourselves. The ostriches have united hearts across the world, bringing light to those who thought that theirs had gone out, just like hers. Tonight, we're going to honor our sister's spirit, her courage, her kindness, and her love. May she rest knowing that her energy will forever be part of this movement. The ostriches remain beacons of hope, and so will she. You know, it's always hard. It's like, it is so hard. Nobody wrote a handbook on this. But the ostriches on November 6th took almost 1,000 bullets to change the world. And it has united so many people. And it's brought hundreds of people through our gates that have witnessed our animals' prehistoric nature and beauty, that have blessed this earth for almost 35 years. And it has brought people together It has brought so much healing to so many people that our family couldn't be more blessed or feel more at peace with knowing what this fight for their lives have actually done around the world and continue to do. So it is with the most heavy hearts and sadness that we do report that we had to say goodbye to another supporter who was here dedicated to fighting for life. And she will be missed dearly. But I do know that she's been reunited with her son. And that was one of the biggest losses in her life. She lost her son. And she was lost. And she showed up at the ostrich farm and found purpose in fighting for more life. Can't even. Thank you. We love you. And may you rest in peace.
Thank you. Thank you, Katie. That was an incredible, poignant story. And that was just yesterday. And that was the second incidence of someone passing away at the farm. And all the hell that family has gone through with legal wrangling, lawfare, the occupation of their farm, the torture, the systematic cruelty meted out by the CFIA goons against those ostriches during that occupation, the massacre of those ostriches over November 5th and 6th. Hard to believe that was 2 weeks ago now. Wow. And everything they had to endure. And yet something like this happens. And you wonder why. Well, it's made them very, very tough. And not in terms of being impervious to feelings, but moving forward despite the odds, despite the pushback from the authorities, from the government. It's made them persevere. It's made them strong. These are strong people. And they have inspired an entire country, and they have inspired farmers across this land. Yeah, you can still find some people, usually farmers who don't have livestock, talking about, well, the CFIA is a great organization. We shouldn't be opposing it. Yeah, we need to. You will still find farmers in the pocket of Ag Canada under the Liberals that are waging war against farmers because they think that's the best way for me to avoid the persecution. Right. They'll come for you next. That's the lesson from Germany in the 1930s and 40s. If you think you can watch your friends and your neighbors be taken away and it won't happen to you, it's just a matter of time. That's what our narco tyranny is all about. And to remind you, narco tyranny, that's what we live in Canada. So the government's more concerned about punishing their political enemies than they are about fighting real criminals. That's the kind of country we have in Canada right now. So take some inspiration from that. Well, tomorrow we're going to show you what Katie did today in Vernon, in Kelowna, and how the inspiration is going to continue across this great land. I had a verbal altercation with somebody today while we were marching through the Byward Market. I heard this person. I wasn't quite sure if this person was male or female, actually. And this person said to me, well, what's the big deal? They were going to be killed anyway for food. And I said, how much do you know about this story? I said, I've been covering this story for 7 months. These birds, these ostriches, were not going to be used for food. They were part of incredibly important research for antibodies to fight avian influenza. these birds were not going to be used as food in Canada or elsewhere. But because you do nothing but watch the CBC and the lying mainstream media, you honestly must think that was the case. So anyway, I set the guy right. And as I walked away, one of the people marching with me turned and said, David, you need to have people like that on your show, because we live in silos right now. We only talk to each other. I think the word is echo chamber. That's what he was reaching for. And people who watch your show find it hard to believe there are people like that standing on the corner in Ottawa. But it's just like the Freedom Convoy. All of those people in the market who complained about these horrible truckers and their honking and their exhaust fumes, and oh, there was the smell of cannabis. The people who hated these truckers because they were blue-collar workers, ordinary Canadians. These are the people who just live in their little balloon and watch the CBC and the other mainstream media that target them with government talking points, government news releases, government promos, government, excuse my language, bullshit. And that's continues to happen with Freedom Convoy 2.0. And Tamara Leach agreed with this when I talked to her recently. What happened at Edgewood, what happened at Universal Ostrich Farms was Freedom Convoy 2.0. And Katie and others are going to take that lesson and run with it and run for change in this country. And I've got more to show you tomorrow, but we're going to watch this before we leave here. Do you think this is about punishing ordinary Canadians and punishing farmers especially?
I think this is about power and control as well as punishment, and it's an attack on our small farmers in this country. The ostriches are a symbol of what's to come, and what happened to them and to that farm is going to happen all across this country unless people start to stand up and realize what's going on.
Do you think they could be coming? I mean, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, could they be coming after our pets next?
Yes, absolutely. Just try and come after mine.
That's what I say. And how do you feel right now? I just talked to Katie this morning before I came over. They're looking at tremendous financial burdens, not only from the Supreme Court order, but possibly from the occupation of their farm. Do we need to support this family?
100%, absolutely.
And so, how can we do that? How should we do that?
I believe if we go to saveourostriches.com, you can find out there ways that you can help support this family. What they've been through is just it's unbelievable. I have a hard time still accepting that this has actually happened on Canadian soil. So. Thank you. So I would like to call upon everybody who supports small farmers and the ostrich farm in BC on November the 6th. Every month I'm going to go to the CFIA headquarters to remind them of what they've done to this family and to these animals, and to help try to bring some accountability from this agency so it never happens again. I believe we have a convoy. Am I hearing a convoy?
Wow. Excellent. Fantastic. I'll be there the next time. I was a little late the last time and everybody had gone home. But we're going to make this into a regular event. Thank you for your work on this. Fantastic. We love you, and you're doing what needs to be done. That's all for tonight. I'll be back again tomorrow with more clips, with more from what happened out in Vernon and Kelowna, how Katie spent her day, and we'll have more about how you can fight back, because fundraising is very important. And as you just heard there, yeah, you can still go to Save Our Ostriches, www.saveourostriches.com if you want to donate. They're changing the name of that website very shortly to justiceforourostriches.com, but it's still, as far as I know, it's not up yet. You can still use saveourostriches.com if you want to donate, if you want to help out Katie and her family and the farm. Thanks for watching tonight. I will be back again tomorrow with more. God bless you and Godspeed to all of you who came out today and everywhere across Canada. Thank you for sharing this station with your friends and family. Thank you for hitting that like button, because I tell you, we are fighting back in a way I've never had to before, because I'm going to keep this station on the air. I am going to keep fighting for freedom. I'm going to keep fighting for justice and truth. And I am damn determined to resist this Carney government in any way possible as it encroaches upon our individual freedom. And it will continue to do that, mark my words. I'll be back again tomorrow. Same time, same place. 10 a.m. This has been David Creighton, broadcasting live from our nation's capital in Ottawa. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.